Welcome back everyone to Mona's Take. I am your host Mona Rose and we are here to talk about everything reality TV. Today we're going to discuss episode 4. Survivor recap, Survivor 42. If you're wondering about the hair, I'll just say I just had a birthday. I thought I turned 57 and I realized I was only 56. So I gained a year. So I said, what the hell? I want to change. This is my change. So it'll grow out or it'll get lighter or it may be blue the next time you see me. Who knows? People are acting on a whole nother level on that. Can't wait to see that karma train coming through. Choo-choo. Mood of the day. Really? You gotta give us more credit than that. Some people, buckle up, buttercup. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. Okay. So let's get to Survivor. We remember from last week they had an explosive tribal council where advantages were exposed, idols were exposed, alliances were exposed, deception was exposed. I could not wait for last night's Survivor so I could see what happened when they got back to camp. Immediately, Daniel goes into saying, I know it's been a long day and it's been a long night and I know a lot of things happened at Tribal Council, but I would really just like not to talk about it tonight. I want to get some sleep. Talk about it in the morning when we're all fresh. He immediately starts trying to backtrack and not have that conversation. And Chanel says, well, I respect your opinion, but I'm a little bit different. I want to have this conversation now. She says, I feel like you threw me under the bus, and I don't even know why. So I don't know why my name even came up in it. They go back and forth a little bit. And Chanel says, I didn't even have a vote. I didn't say anything at Tribal because I knew I didn't have a vote. How does my name get brought into it? And she's talking to Daniel. And then she tells the whole tribe that Daniel told her about Mike's immunity idol. And Mike's like, wow, we're finding out a lot of information right now. So Chanel just really threw him under the bus. Well, Mike automatically feels betrayed because he entrusted Daniel with that secret. And then Daniel went back and told Chanel. Hi starts in and he says, look, I'm going to tell you all right now, even though the vote went my way at Tribal Council, I have never felt more betrayed than I do right now by everyone. He thought he had an alliance for Daniel. He says the only one he doesn't feel betrayed by is poor Lydia after what she just had to go through at Tribal Council. He also talks about he knew as soon as Daniel started balking about not drawing rocks that he had him where he wanted him. So all he had to do was stick to his guns and say, I'm not changing my vote. And he said Daniel folded like a deck of cards. Well, I knew what he was doing. So Mike and Daniel have words afterwards because Daniel has betrayed his trust. And again, he throws Chanel right under the bus. It's like he's blaming her for everything he did. So then we get to the reward challenge, and the reward challenge was for fish. And the way Jeff put it, 10 decent-sized fish. Well, when they got back to Tribal, they were big fish. It was a lot of fish for 4 people. I kind of got ahead of myself there. But anyway. They had to, all 3 of them were tethered to a rope, or all 4 of them were tethered to a rope. And they had to untie, was it 3 of them? 3 of them. They had to untie themselves because the ropes were all twisted. So they had to go in and weave and move around so that they could get the ropes untangled. And then they came across a beam where the ropes were just wound around. So they had to go up and over, up and over, up and over until they got their own rope untangled. Once all of them were out of that, then one person had to take, it's like a disc rope. It was about that big around. And they had to take it and throw it and catch the sled. They'd bring that sled back to them, which had balls on it, and each one of them were responsible for making a ball in the basket. Again, Taku killed it. Jonathan was, I guess, a narrator, you want to say, or a coach. He was like telling who to move where and do what. And I mean, they just got through it quick. They got through it and had their balls through before the other two teams even got to the sled. So of course they win the challenge. Well then, the other teams start talking about Jonathan. Talk about him being a Goliath, and that even though there's only 4 of them on that tribe, that he's carrying the tribe, and that even Jeff said that he had the one-man challenge on the ladder, that he was the reason the team won, and yada, yada, yada. So a lot of light is being shed on Jonathan right now. And have a feeling that it's going to come back to bite him in the butt. So then we get to the Ika tribe. Swati is telling Tori that she wants to work with Roxroy to get Drea out. Now, if we remember on the last one, Drea proposed the All Girls Alliance. And as soon as she walked off, Swati was like, we got to get her out of here. Not only does she have an advantage, but she knows how to pull people in. She needs to be the one that we're targeting. This is what she's telling Tori. So, Tori tells Roxroy that Drea has an extra boat. In turn, Roxroy goes back and tells Swati, and who else was standing there? Drea and Swati. Roxroy goes back and tells them that Tori told him that she had an extra boat. So that right there exposes Tori again with Drea. So now Drea is not knowing who to believe, Swati or Tori. So then they go on to the immunity challenge. You have 2 people that are swimming, pulling a boat with the other 2 people in the boat. And they have to go out to this platform, and the 2 that are in the boat have to go up the staircase and jump off the platform and retrieve keys. Once both sets of keys are retrieved, then the people that are swimming have to swim back, pulling the boat again, to get back to unlock the puzzle pieces. And only 2 people can do the puzzle. And it ends up being a fish puzzle. And you've seen the kind where the tail hangs up top and it comes down, and they have to put the puzzle together in the air. And that's basically what it was. And of course, Jonathan carried that tribe again. It was Jonathan and Marianne that was swimming. Marianne was just swimming beside the boat. Jonathan was pulling the boat. He was out in front and just pulling the whole boat. Anyway, they get back and they have to put the puzzle together. Taku is first place. Body is second place. And Ika is going to tribal. Now remember, you don't have that whole episode with Swati and Tori going back and forth and throwing each other under the bus. And so they get to tribal, and it goes back, and it's those 2 again going back and forth. Tori was pretty calm about it. Swati was the one saying, you told me that you wanted to vote out Drea, you wanted to blindside Drea. It was like everything that Swati had been doing to this point, she was saying that it was Tori that was doing. Now, going into tribal and during tribal the whole time, I thought, Tori's going home. Tori's going home. But Tori got in Romeo and Drea's head. And said, well, she told me I was her number 1. Well, then Romeo remembers Swati telling him he was her number 1. Well, then Drea remembers Swati telling her that she was her number one. I think the only one she didn't tell that they were her number one was Roxroy. So in Tribal, I think they thought about this. And Roxroy is taken up for Swati. He wants Tori gone. So they get through with all their back and forth, and they come to the vote, and Swati had to risk her vote doing the shot in the dark. She did not win safety, and she lost her vote. She was voted out. Roxroy was the only one that did not put her name down, and he put Tori's name down. So Swati ended up getting voted out. Now, was that the right move? If you think about it, she's playing a much harder game. She's playing harder, but under the radar. Whereas Tori's playing hard, but everybody knows it. Everybody knows that she can be a snake. Everybody knows that she can be deceptive. With Swati, they didn't see that. They didn't realize that she was doing all of this behind the scenes. So I think Swati was probably the more dangerous one. However, Tori has gotten herself out of trouble a few times now. And I don't know if it's because she's a therapist and that's helping her out or what. But she's gotten herself out of a pickle a lot. And in the previews early on, we saw her reading one of the phrases for the triple immunity idol. She's still not found that yet. That may be in the next episode. Or they may have just tricked us and had someone that sounded like her reading the immunity instructions. Who knows? But Marianne has it for her tribe. Mike has it for his tribe. If Tori finds it for Ika, I have a feeling that if Tori finds it, Marianne's going to say the phrase, Tori's going to say the phrase, and Mike's going to go, okay, now my eye was active and I need it. Because I just got blindsided with Jenny being voted out. So I have a feeling that if those two say their phrases, then Mike will say his phrase and everyone's going to know he has an immunity idol. But that's going to keep him safe for one more week. Sorry guys, my allergies are killing me. So, I don't know what's going to happen in next week's episode. I'm hoping that somebody on that tribe finds the idol so that it can be in play. I've also caught myself looking when somebody has to sit out in a challenge for advantages, you know how they hide them underneath the benches. Has anybody else been doing that? Tell me in the comments if you've been looking for those extra advantages that they hid last year. Like the steal a boat, I think was one of them. We'll see. Anyway, I don't know how much longer they're going to go before they merge, or before they at least take them into 2 tribes out of the 3. But I think that's coming pretty close. We'll see. That's about all I have for you guys today. Have a good day, and as always, much love.